Conor doesn't need to fight. He has everything. I respect the fact that he's coming back to fight so much because it shows that he's a fighter in his heart. You know, me, I got to a certain level and I decided to walk away. You know, Conor, he's back. It shows that he's still that fighter despite having so much success. I'm rooting for him. Proud of Conor. I'm a massive fan. I think I will be for the rest of my life. You know, he has had a lot of struggles, ups and downs, just like I have, but he always gets back on his feet, which is a huge example to so many out there. So.
I don't know where Conor's training. I know that the media says he's training in Ireland. But I know when I turn my television on, Jimmy Fallon's couch isn't in Ireland. I know that the media says that Conor is training back home in Dublin. But I know when I see Conor interviewing with Ariel that that's done in New York. And I know that Conor isn't bouncing back and forth from LA to Dublin, from New York to Dublin. I just know that he's not doing that. That means he's stationed somewhere here, stateside, somewhere in America. Great. Where? And moreover, how do I not know where? The community is very small. And if Conor McGregor walked into your gym, someone's going to be pulling out an iPhone. Somebody's going to want a selfie. Somebody's going to want a video. Some training partner is going to want a little bit of rub on social media, get a sweaty picture of him and Conor. Whatever coach is holding mitts, for example, is going to want a little bit of rub on social media, and they're going to have somebody take a photo and or film a few seconds that they can post on their social media. I don't know who those coaches are. I don't know who those workout partners are, and I don't know what gym this is taking place at. That's on you, Morgan.
This was the perfect matchup to bring him back, right? I mean, this was the one to do it, right? You've got history, which makes it more fun, but you've got that stylistic matchup. So I think the UFC matchmakers, the brass, they did a great job of picking the return opponent. Now, to where you started, is he going to be a shell of himself? Man, listen, bottom line is that many years away, that many years of, hey, by the way, you already won the game. And yeah, you're working out, but are you really, I mean, not only are you sleeping in silk sheets, like they're bringing new silk sheets for you every day. You're throwing away those silk sheets and they bring the new, you know what I mean? Like this man reached a level of fame and wealth and magnitude, just unbelievable, right? So everything that I know about the fight game tells me that what Conor McGregor is trying to do is damn near impossible. To turn back the clock, to compete at that level again, you just don't do it. That said, you do have to at least throw out the caveat that Conor McGregor is something unique and special and different that performs and shows up in these moments like nobody.
The countdown has officially begun for one of the biggest comeback fights in UFC history. And the excitement surrounding Conor McGregor's return continues to dominate the MMA world. After spending nearly 5 years away from competition, recovering from one of the most devastating leg injuries the sport has ever seen, McGregor is finally preparing to step back into the octagon. Standing across from him is none other than former featherweight king Max Holloway, a fighter who has transformed into one of the greatest strikers the UFC has ever produced. This isn't simply another fight on the calendar. For many fans, it feels like the beginning of a brand new chapter.
Actually, I like Conor. I think Conor will gonna win. Conor, because this fight will be
170.
170, yeah, 170. Conor has more strength, more power, and for Holloway, I think he will like slower down himself because his weight, he's big. He's not like a fake 145 that fast. So he gonna be slower, and I think Conor got more power and knocked out power. And this fight definitely gonna be, you know, stance fight, right? You know, striking. Yeah, both of them like strikers, so it's gonna be a good fight. But I think Conor will win. Yeah, more chance to the fight.
Man, I'm gonna say Holloway just because he's been active, very active. But I mean, I don't know. Anything can happen. Conor has that power. They're fighting at 170. Conor's probably been at 170 for a while. I think this is Max's first fight at 170. So, I mean, who knows? This is a toss-up for me. It might be a toss-up.
I'm gonna go Max Holloway. I think he'll actually probably finish him.
Yeah, I got to go with Max. I feel like anytime someone has 4 or 5 years off, it's not great. And we just saw this recently with Ronda Rousey.
He's the king, man. Look, maybe he's not the best fighter in the world. He's the king. He did more for mixed martial arts than any single fighter did for any combat sport in the world. He did more for that, and he's back, and he's the best Conor McGregor I've ever seen. Talking to him is like talking to a guy that I don't even know. He's unbelievably focused. He's unbelievably trained. He's fast. He's furious, and he's ready to cause some damage. I will be there, front row, at that UFC event and rooting him on. I think it's going to be, I can't bet on the fights, but if I could, I'd bet the house on Conor McGregor.
Difference. Max Holloway has been a consistent fighter from the day that he fought Conor McGregor. We'll say continuously all the way up until come July 11th or whatever it is of 2026. He has absolutely increased his ability as a fighter. I think when he fought Conor back then, he may have been like 2 and 3 or maybe 1 and 2 in the UFC. I mean, he didn't have a great record. He had a string of wins after his loss to Conor. And it's because he improved as a fighter in so many ways. And he's gone against some of the very best fighters out there. He's beaten Jose Aldo twice. He's had all the fights with Volkanovski, which, one of them was, absolutely one that you could have said he won for sure. The other ones, yeah, he lost, but he was right there with him. He's fought the very best, while Conor's been.
Across social media, podcasts, television shows, and MMA forums, one question keeps surfacing again and again. Can Conor McGregor truly return to the highest level and defeat a fighter who has remained active against the world's elite while he was away? Opinions are divided, and some of the biggest names in mixed martial arts can't even agree on what will happen. A number of respected analysts believe that if McGregor wins, it must happen early. They picture the Irish superstar storming
all the madness if Conor pulls this win off against Max Holloway. Think of the direction the UFC is going to go. And I love Max. Top 5 favorite. Max is so beloved. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Max Holloway. If Conor pulls this off, gets a knockout, some crazy highlight knockout in the first, second round, pulls this off, just think of the numbies. Think of the matchups. Think of the excitement. Think of the run the UFC is going to go on Paramount. Yeah. Sky's the limit. It's stupid numbies.
I just want to see the arena, like what happens there. If he wins, people at home going crazy. And
we're going to watch it together.
Arena.
It's going to be, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be real sad if next Saturday we're all together watching it with me and you, and Conor looks like a shell of himself and gets the shit beat out of him. That's going to be real sad because he closes the chapter. It's over. It's over.
out of his corner with the same explosive confidence that once made him the biggest attraction in combat sports. They imagine a devastating first-round knockout, The type of finish that instantly sends shockwaves throughout the UFC and reopens conversations about championship fights against names like Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira. In their minds, a spectacular knockout wouldn't simply be another victory. It would completely change the landscape of the sport overnight. Others, however, believe reality will be far different. They argue that
But if he wins, my God, dude, what do they do? If he wins, do you do the Islam title fight at 170? Horrible matchup for him, but do you do that fight? Do you offer him, which I'm sure they will, do you offer him the Justin Gaethje title fight at lightweight? Is Conor down to cut down to 55? He's looking massive right now. Looks like it'd be a miserable cut, but for a title shot, does UFC go, we'll give you a title shot, but it has to be at 55? Does he do that? What if in some crazy world that we live in, this MMA world, Ian Machado Gary beats Islam, and then they do it end of the year or early next year in Dublin, Ian Machado Gary versus Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I personally, if it was me, it would be Gaethje. Just right now is the perfect time. I think him and Gaethje.
Listen, he's going to be, no matter what fight, if he gets past
years away from elite competition simply cannot be ignored. During McGregor's absence, Max Holloway continued testing himself against the toughest competition available. He fought champions, former champions, dangerous contenders, and future Hall of Famers, proving time and again why he's considered one of the most durable and technically gifted fighters in UFC history. Every appearance added another layer to his already legendary resume. While McGregor watched from the sidelines, recovering from injury, and focused
team, like, how do you even do something like this where he hasn't fought in 5 years? Do you just, kind of go off the guy we saw before and expect that things can't be dramatically different, or what are you even expecting?
I mean, you gotta kind of think that he grew as a fighter too. You kind of look at his old stuff, that what you can find, and you just kind of think, some things are gonna stick around, and he might add some stuff. So he coming back from a big injury, and there's a bunch of stuff to include, but I think we did what we had to do. We're just days away now, a week away, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see. A lot of people keep counting Conor out, which is insane to me. You know what I mean? I mean, look, like, they was counting Conor out because of the 5 years, and they're like, oh yeah, but the 5 years he got to rest, in my mind. And people is like, no, but like, you see him partying, you see him doing all this, like, bro, people are not falling around him 24/7. You know what?
On life outside the cage. That contrast has become the center of nearly every prediction surrounding this fight. Critics point out that McGregor has spent years building businesses, making public appearances, and expanding his global
camera. So you really don't know what he's doing. Just because they're putting out the bad stuff of him, we don't know about the good stuff, And I know this just because every time in camp when I'm playing video games for like 2 hours out of the day, everybody like, you gotta be training after all my training. So at the end of the day, I'm getting ready for a dangerous Conor McGregor. I think it's going to be a healthy Conor McGregor. I think it's going to be the best version we ever saw. And that's the things that excite me. That excites me. The best Conor McGregor I get to see come July 11th. And when I go out there and do the things that I know I can and will do to him, it's going to be a
brand. Meanwhile, Holloway has been sharpening his skills inside the octagon against the very best fighters in the world. He defeated Dustin Poirier, battled Charles Oliveira, exchanged bombs with Justin Gaethje, faced Alexander Volkanovski multiple times, and shared the cage with some of the most dangerous competitors of this generation. Every one of those battles forced Holloway to evolve into a more complete mixed martial artist. His striking became cleaner, his movement became sharper, his conditioning reached another level, and his confidence only continued to grow. That's exactly why many analysts believe Holloway enters this rematch as the favorite. His incredible pace has broken countless opponents over the years. Unlike knockout artists who rely on one perfect punch, Holloway overwhelms his opponents with relentless combinations, constant pressure, intelligent footwork, and endless cardio. He forces fighters to work at a pace very few can maintain, especially during championship rounds. If the fight extends beyond the opening minutes, many experts believe Holloway's advantages become increasingly difficult to overcome. Veteran analyst Chael Sonnen has been one of the loudest voices discussing this matchup. While openly admitting his respect for Conor McGregor, Sonnen says he has struggled to create a realistic path to victory outside of an early knockout. According to him, McGregor isn't likely to outpoint Holloway over 5 rounds, dominate him with wrestling, or grind out a decision through control. Instead, he believes the Irish superstar has one clear opportunity: land something devastating before Holloway finds his rhythm. If that opportunity disappears, Sonnen expects Holloway's pressure and activity to gradually take complete control of the fight. Yet not everyone shares that opinion. Several former champions continue backing McGregor despite the odds. They argue that people are forgetting exactly who Conor McGregor is. Throughout his career, he built a reputation for accomplishing what others considered impossible. Time after time, he walked into impossible situations, ignored the doubters, predicted his victories with unbelievable confidence, and then delivered spectacular knockouts that shocked the entire sporting world. That confidence earned him the nickname Mystic Mac, and supporters believe that same unpredictable magic could appear once again. They also point out something many critics overlook. While McGregor hasn't competed inside the cage, his body has also avoided years of punishment that active fighters continue absorbing through brutal training camps, weight cuts, and countless rounds of sparring. Some believe those years away may have allowed him to recover physically and mentally in ways that active competitors simply cannot. Instead of entering this fight worn down by years of constant battles, McGregor could arrive refreshed, healthy, motivated, and carrying the explosive speed that made him famous. Even his supporters admit there are serious questions, but they refuse to count him out before the opening bell. Others remain fascinated by the mystery surrounding McGregor's preparation. Unlike previous training camps, where cameras regularly followed every session, this return has been unusually quiet. Rumors suggest he has been training somewhere in the United States, but very little concrete information has surfaced. Normally, if someone as famous as Conor McGregor entered a public gym, photos and videos would spread across the internet within minutes. Fans would see sparring clips, pad work, training partners, and behind-the-scenes footage almost immediately. This time, however, there has been remarkable secrecy. No one seems completely certain where he's training, who his coaches are, or which fighters have been helping prepare him for Holloway.